What's up, everyone? Welcome to Benched. We are the Tovar Brothers. This is Monday, October 30th, 2023, episode number 46. Angel, what's up? Famous 46.
You said it earlier, Alfred Morris. I think he's the only 46 I ever know.
That's all I
So
got.
I looked up his stats just because at rookie year. Remember his rookie year out of nowhere? He had
He was fun.
1,600 yards and 13 touchdowns. That was Shanahan as a coordinator for the then Washington Redskins.
Who's his quarterback?
Yeah, 46. Kirk Cousins, right?
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
We'll talk about him a little bit today. Yeah, maybe the most unsexy number of all time.
46. Yeah, it's tough to pull off. I don't think Alfred Morris did it, but he just wore it.
What's up, everyone? Thank you for joining us today. If you're listening on YouTube here, welcome to the show.
Hello.
We usually look a little different than this. We're usually back home in the studio, which we're supposed to be today. But I am stuck in San Diego due to some car issues. Car's been in the shop since Friday. Hopefully going to get it today or tomorrow. But that's why we're like this. But usually we're at home in the studio. Thank you for joining us either way. If it's your first time, appreciate you stopping in. And we're just a couple of dummies from LA who love NFL football and decided we want to talk about it. So here we are.
Yes, speak for yourself, though. I ain't no dummy.
Yeah.
I'm average.
Average.
Yes.
I'm very proud of that.
I'll take average.
If you're listening on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, thank you so much. Please leave a review. That's always helpful. And then follow the show between the show on X, TikTok, and Instagram. Search at Bench Show to follow the show in those on those platforms and catch up on all the things that are going up on a day-to-day basis. It was a incredible weekend of football.
Increíble. It was awesome.
We thought, honestly, looking at the schedule, I wasn't that excited because there wasn't a lot of marquee matchups. So I thought, but this is why you love the NFL. Stuff did not go according to chalk, and it was a fun week of football. It was a emotional week of football. Some injuries.
Top of my head, the game that no one was probably watching, the Texans-Panthers game, was very good. 15-13, the battle of number one versus number two overall. That was a great game.
Right.
The Broncos upsetting the Chiefs. I'm a Bronco fan. That was a great game to watch.
That was your Super Bowl.
The Giants-Jets game was amazing. There were so many good games on this weekend. They didn't look like good games. But like you said, football is just, you can't guess it because it'll surprise you every single time.
Yeah, we are coming up here on the trade deadline in one day. Tomorrow is the trade deadline.
Oh, man.
Very excited about that. I think with that in mind, it made some of the drama yesterday a little kind of ratchet up a little bit because knowing that there's some major decisions going to happen here in the next couple of days, next 24 hours. And so it was just, it's a crazy time in the NFL. It's a fun time in the NFL. Unfortunately, we had some injuries yesterday. Some seasons ended, possibly some careers ended. We'll see what happens. But let's get into the news. Okay, the news is brought to you by 818 Brewing. And we're going to start with some injuries. And unfortunately, this morning we got news that Patriots wide receiver Kendrick Bourne tore his ACL yesterday, and he is done for the season. He was balling out. Like low-key, he was balling out.
He was the best Patriots wideout this year. He was having his career season at a veteran age. So he was probably thinking, I get another deal out of this. This just sucks. You hate to see veterans who are doing well late in their career get hurt. This just sucks.
Yeah. He was one of those receivers where every year he's listed as their number one, and you kind of just laugh at it. But he's an actual good receiver. Has just never really been in a great situation. Hopefully he gets back. I think he's still young enough where we could see him again. And ACLs are not what they used to be. So come back soon, Kendrick Bourne. Moving on here, Falcons Pro Bowl D tackle, longtime Pro Bowl D tackle, Garrett. He suffered an ACL injury, and he will miss the rest of the season as well. He's older.
Yeah, and also one of the most underrated D tackles in the last 5 years.
Oh yeah,
he's a dog. But he plays the Falcons. You don't really hear about him. Yeah, this sucks for that defense, and then for him personally, this is a tough one.
Yeah, and then maybe the injury that shook the NFL yesterday the most. In Minnesota, quarterback Kirk Cousins believed to have torn his Achilles, ruptured his Achilles, however you want to say it. And he's obviously out for the season, and he's 35. So I don't know what his future holds. But that is such a layered issue in Minnesota with him being a free agent, with the Vikings already not being committed to him long term. Rumors of selling people off, rumors of taking advantage of the Super Bowl window. No one quite knew where they were. But now with this Kirk Cousins injury, it just adds more confusion.
We're gonna test the science of Achilles injuries between him and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
With older quarterbacks coming back. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm guessing him and Aaron Rodgers are at least cordial enough to where he can call Aaron Rodgers and ask him what's it like being older. But this throws the Vikings into sell mode because your best part of your team was the offense, led by Kirk Cousins. You have Jefferson out. Addison's a star. Now you have no quarterback. So
we'll see. A lot of people think they should re-up at quarterback and try to make a run. We'll get into that a little later though. Moving on here, Daniel Jones, who's missed the last 3 games with an injury, a neck injury, could potentially be back for Sunday's game. I hope he is because Tyrod Taylor's not available anymore. He was injured.
Yeah.
And
it was DeVito yesterday against
Tommy DeVito,
the Jets.
Philadelphia native. He looks terrible.
But he gave it a good fight. He looked as decent as Zach Wilson, which is not saying crazy things, but it was a good game yesterday. But yeah, he's not. Don't go into the season as him as your starting one game team.
The Giants are as big of a dumpster fire as any team in the NFL. That offense looks terrible. Wow. Darren Waller got hurt yesterday. They look rough.
Yeah, they're tough to watch. Defensively, they're playing a lot better, but offensively, they're tough. It's tough when you don't have a quarterback. This is what happens. Everything looks bad.
Some good news here. The Packers and pass rusher Rashawn Gary this morning have reached an agreement on a 4-year, $107 million. I think the guaranteed money is in the 90s. Good for Rashawn Gary. He's one of the most underrated pass rushers in the league. He's just steady Eddie there on that Packers D-line, and the Packers recognize him here with a great long-term contract. Yeah,
Gary, let's see, 27 sacks in his whole 5-year career. Has it out of Michigan, if I'm right? He's been a playmaker since kind of the end of like year one. Phenomenal pass rusher. He deserves every part of this money. And watching the Packers yesterday, you got to be paid a lot to play for them right now. They're pretty tough to watch.
Yeah, they recognize him there as a building block for the future, obviously, and
he's phenomenal.
He's gonna be really good. I hope you're paying attention to some of the seasons we're getting from these receivers this year because it is downright incredible. AJ Brown is now the first receiver in NFL history, to have 125 receiving yard games in 6 straight games. That kind of blew my mind. It's never been done before. You think of Calvin Johnson, you think of Randy Moss that season, and no one's ever done this before. That's pretty incredible. But not to be outdone, Tyreek Hill is already over 1,000 yards for the season. He's the first player in the Super Bowl era to have 1,000 yards in the first 8 games. These two guys, I was originally going to ask you, like, what's more impressive? I didn't want to do that.
No.
I just need to appreciate this.
I think Tyreek Hill's going to break 2,000 yards easily, barring injury. That's going to be, just mark it down. It's starting to happen. Yeah. And A.J. Brown, his comp has been T.O., and just keeps getting reaffirmed. But he's like, everything you watch him play this season, it's just been phenomenal, highlight catches. He didn't ever seem stressed out about catches, which is amazing about him. He's not doing these crazy catches. He's a good wideout. And him and Hurts have this connection that's hard to find. It's very similar to the Brady Randy Moss, to the Manning Reggie Wayne or Marvin Harrison. Their connection is elite, and they're young enough to make it last another 5 years. So
yeah, they needed every bit of it yesterday against the Commanders, and he showed up big for them there. And like you said, he's incredible poise when the ball's in the air. He's tracking the ball well. His body control is incredible, and then the big strong hands. He's just he's almost unguardable when he's playing like that. And then
Tyreek Hill,
he's an alien.
Is he the fastest guy you've ever seen him play?
Oh yeah, I mean his burst is just. It's almost like you're watching these all-world athletes just panic because they don't know what to do with that speed. It's incredible to watch. Appreciate these guys while they're playing like this because you never know how long this lasts. So this is awesome to see. AJ Brown, Tyreek Hill, blockbuster football. this year. And the last thing here, and we're going to get to a lot more of this, but this is a kind of a new report I wanted to bring to the surface here. The Raiders have had trade calls about wide receiver Hunter Renfrow, one of my favorite players. But it doesn't appear a deal is imminent at this moment. So I'm just glad to see there's some action there. He deserves to be on a winner because he's a winner type of player. They've also received calls on Max Crosby and Devonta Adams, and their answer has been an emphatic no to those.
Yeah, Max Crosby should be untouchable for them. He's one of the top 3, top 4 pass rushers.
He was on the market. Imagine.
Yeah, they'll be very dumb if they were to trade. I don't think they will because no one's that dumb to trade him. But Hunter Renfrow, one of our favorite wideouts, they just refused to use him this year for some reason.
After they paid him, you remember they paid him?
They paid him and then they refused to use him. And because they paid him, that's what was making it hard to trade him because they paid him at such a high rate. I don't know. I think he's making plus $12 million a year for a slot guy, which teams want to pay that. So if a deal were to get done, it'd be kind of like you pay half, I pay half, or you pay the first year, but the second year. I would love to see him.
From what I have read, teams are just almost demanding that they eat that contract or most of it.
I mean, it's
the cost of doing business when you give out bad contracts. That's just what happens. So we'll see how that turns out here. It's going to be a fun couple days with NFL trade deadline coming up here. And last thing here, Angel, did you enjoy those new Titans uniforms or the throwbacks?
Those were I was saying yesterday. Those this year we've been blessed with a lot of cool uniforms. Those might be the top. Those are sweet.
Well, don't get used to them because the NFL has ordered Houston to cease the usage of Oilers-inspired alternate powder blue uniforms, citing trademark infringement. So, nice little cup of cold water.
So they're Houston, so the Texans can wear them.
Honestly, I don't know.
It's just this is when a no fun league becomes affirmed. Like, just let them wear them. We know they're not the Houston Oilers. Everyone knows they're not the uniforms are sick though. Like, just chill.
They're so nice.
Like the Texans will be. That's not the Texans. They're the Titans. You literally when you see those, they're Titan colors. Oh, they're Titans.
Yeah. Between those and the Seahawks, God, it was fun to watch yesterday.
All right. Real quick, rank the Kelly Green Eagles, the Oiler, the Oiler, Houston, whatever, and the Seahawks ones from I don't know what you would call those.
I'm an Eagles fan. I'm always gonna put that Kelly Green at number 1. And I'm gonna put the Titans at number 2.
They're so sick. Yeah.
They're incredible. And then the Seahawks are there. Seahawks just aren't doing enough. They're just kind of nostalgic. They're not especially, cool. Same kind of with the Giants old school uniforms. They're just kind of cool.
I like those ones a lot. And you don't like the creamsicle ones, but those are also very cool.
I'm a fan of the creamsicles. But yeah, that's the news brought to you 818 Brewing. It is Monday, and on Monday, we talk Ball Don't Lie. All right, Ball Don't Lie, a segment where we tell it like we saw it. Sunday was a full slate of games. We got one more game tonight, but we have plenty to react to, and that's where we do it here in this segment. We each have 3. You want to start? You want me to get started?
I'll start.
Shoot.
Ball Don't Lie. Jordan Love is regressing and losing this quarterback spot for next year. You watch him play. So he started off this year back-to-back 3 touchdown games. Since then, he hasn't had a turnover-free game. We're in week 8 now. So on the year, he's 11 touchdowns, 8 picks, doing 58%. His whole thing coming out of college is that he needs time to sit and bake. It's been 2 years now. Okay, right. This is when he's supposed to be good. The Packer fans excuse for him is that he needs time to play now. How much time do you give a quarterback? Unless you be really patient, unless you want to do what they did with Josh Allen and wait even after he played bad. He makes 31st in throws over 10 yards. I don't know what he's good at. He's a good athlete. He's got a decent arm, but he's regressing each week. You're not seeing him make reads that are natural that every quarterback should make. You're not seeing him. This offense is a kind of a mess. They don't even know what they are. There's no wideouts. There's no wideouts that you would trust for him to throw to. This offense and him is not looking good. And if they're going to keep losing, like we said like last week, so there's about 5 good quarterbacks in next year's draft.
Right.
He does not have time to sit around and learn and wait. He's regressing, and the red flags are flying now. He is not looking good. He's lost against the Broncos and has lost against teams he should be. I'm pretty much out on Jordan Love and this whole experiment of wait 2 years, play, and now he's still bad. I'm out.
Yeah, we've come about as full circle as you could in 8 weeks. We were very excited when he first came on the field. He was putting up. It's almost like the Russell Wilson thing. You look at Russell Wilson's numbers, and think, what's wrong with Russell Wilson? His numbers are great. But you watch. That's why it's ball don't lie, because you watch the game and you see how he actually plays and how he's actually how effective he is in that offense, and you don't see it with him. He did have at least 6 drops yesterday. He was dealing with the skilled players were just terrible. But I agree with you. He just hasn't shown that he's the guy, and it's a perfect storm right now in the NFL where you have all these teams who have transitioned into young quarterbacks that they're not quite sure yet. You think of Justin Fields, you think of Jordan Love, you think of even the rookies who were taken last year, even guys like Will Levis. You got to make decisions on these guys this year because of the pressure that next year's quarterback class is putting on these organizations. And it's going to be really fun to watch. There's going to be terrible decisions made that's going to affect franchises for the next, 5 to 6, 10 years. And there's going to be great decisions made where people just learn we're going to cut bait and we're going to go with the new guy from next year's class. And the Packers are right in the middle of that with Jordan Love. They have tough decisions to make because they have invested into this guy for years now.
Yeah, they gave him a 2-year deal, but it's more like a deal where they don't want to franchise tag him. It's kind of a goofy 2-year deal. But yeah, they have a choice to make. They have to decide this guy with this team. And now we give the excuses a lot, like he has 6 drops, but like guys have done a lot more with a lot less. So I'm not saying he's completely hopeless, but right now he's just not progressing as he should.
Yeah. I didn't mean to give him an excuse. Let me be clear. If I were the Packers, I am strongly considering let Jordan Love play out, but I'm going for a quarterback. But 2 things. I think I don't want to let off the hook 2 things. The skill position has been bad. Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs and Jaden Reed and Luke Musgrave, this young core that's supposed to be, elite. Not to mention, don't get me started on the running backs. They just haven't shown up this year. They haven't progressed as much as Jordan Love hasn't progressed. They haven't progressed either. The other thing that we talked about. Yeah. What's that? No, go ahead before I move.
No, I just you have 2 rookies in Musgrave and Reed. They're thinking that will be right out the gate good. That's not fair of them. And also Watson, they give Watson every opportunity to be good. He has not shown that he can. Yeah, I'm out on Watson.
And in that vein, AJ Dillon. AJ Dillon doesn't need to be getting carries anymore either. The other thing I want to hold them accountable for, and that people need to talk about, is Matt LaFleur. We need to talk about this guy. You can't just let him off the hook. When you lose Aaron Rodgers and you look this bad, you have to start looking at, what's the cause and effect? Like who's left holding the bag here? And Matt LaFleur has to bear some kind of blame here for this team just not looking great offensively, which is supposed to be his bread and butter, supposed to be one of the best young offensive minds in the league. And overall, the team just not being very competitive. They are the worst team in the NFC North. I did not think we'd be here in week 8 talking about the Packers that way.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
We thought at least their defense would buoy them to, okay, they're respectable. But they're one of the worst teams in the league right now.
Yeah. So
Packers. Moving on here to their and let's get right into it. To their NFC North rival, also falling on some bad times here. Ball don't lie. The Vikings, as of this morning, are in a rebuild, or at least they should be. Kirk Cousins, of course, ruptured his Achilles yesterday. He's 35, was on a 1-year deal anyway. There's no way they sign him now. I know Aaron Rodgers is doing this incredible thing, and I know technically 35, you still can come back from Achilles and have a couple good years at the end. But if you were already considering moving on, you're definitely moving on now.
Yeah.
Like, why would this push? If you already consider moving on, why would this push you toward not moving on? I don't understand how that would work. There's been some rumors that they're going to go get a a quarterback and try to patch this up and still try to make a run, I think that's a mistake. You need to make a tough decision here and move off, because your Super Bowl window, make no mistake about it. This is why I was so frustrated with the backlash that Kirk Cousins got. Your Super Bowl window was tied to Kirk Cousins and the way that he played football, because he's one of the best in the league at playing the position of quarterback. When as he goes out yesterday, he's third in pass yards, second in pass TDs, fourth in passer rate, seventh in PFF, only 15th in salary, has won the last 4 of the 5 games, and 3 straight wins without Justin Jefferson. Your timeline for your Super Bowl window was undoubtedly tied to Kirk Cousins and how he was playing. And so you got to realize now you lost that kind of caliber of player, and he's not, I don't think, coming back. It's time to jump into a rebuild.
Absolutely. It's obvious. It's obvious. Your best player, Justin Jefferson's hurt. Your second best player, Kirk Cousins, out for the year, and you are just at that record where you can still tank and get a top 5, top 10 pick. Right. Still. It sucks because their window was this year. Like, I'm not sure if they would have won it, but the window was, you got to go all in this year. And rumors have already been about them and Daniel Hunter, them and some, Harrison Smith. So I think now just lean into it, realize that, look, we can get a really good quarterback and not mess up any. Like, let's put Justin Jefferson on a long-term IR. Yep. You have Addison, who's a stud. You have Hockenson. Next year, you got the running back, you have a quarterback, start over, and it'll be just right back where you are this year, next year.
Yeah, and you think, in that division too, I mean, make a couple of right moves here, and you're competing for this division next year.
Yeah.
Jefferson 24, Addison 21, Hockenson only 26. These guys are young, and imagine dropping a quarterback like Caleb Williams into that room of those skill position players. You're good really, really quickly. Yeah. So yeah, I would sell all these veterans off, take on dead money, all those things, and just take a step back so that you can take a quicker step forward than dragging this on with a Case Keenum or these other names I've heard. Where does that get you? Yeah, where does that get you? Yeah, that's mine. Vikings this morning, rebuild, do it.
Okay. Bottom line, Brock Purdy might have fooled us all. Prior to him playing the Browns, he was 10 touchdowns, 0 picks, throwing at a high completion. Then the Browns came. Then this is what happened. They got punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
And they got punched in the mouth 3 times in a row. They're currently 5-3. Okay. They have lost to the Bengals, the Vikings, and the Browns. All those teams, what happened with this team is that they faced teams that weren't scared of them. And then they also lost Deebo Samuel and Trent Williams. The last 3 games, Purdy has done 3 touchdowns and 5 picks. What you worried about him at the beginning was, okay, times are going well, he's really good. But when you're playing a tough team in a tough environment, you don't have everyone rolling. That's what you want to see, that your franchise quarterback become more than what he usually is. And he has not proven to be more than just an average quarterback. And we were on board with him. We were praising him very, very, very highly.
Right.
But you now see against teams that are competitive or that aren't scared of them, or when he's not rolling offensively, he's not a very good, QB. He's about average, if not below average. Because yesterday's game, he threw 2 picks that were just boneheaded. And you don't see them do that when he's up, when they're rolling, when they're playing the Cowboys, they're rolling. That game seems like a year ago now. Yeah. They are in a new era of Brock Purdy where they need to step back and realize we need to stop putting so much on his plate. He might have fooled us all. He might just be an average quarterback in a very good system with elite weapons around him.
Something else I want to bring up too is he obviously suffered that concussion.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a weird situation where it was reported the day after the game, even though he got evaluated that day and cleared. And then yesterday he took a massive hit at the end of the game, fell back, slammed his head, reached for his neck, all those different things, and nothing, he wasn't evaluated and nothing has been reported yet. But if you look at the splits, it's not only, split from that Browns game because they really humbled him. but also split from ever since that concussion. He hasn't been the same guy. Like he's been different, and it looks just like what happened last year when he played the Eagles in the NFC title game, and he might not be able to stand up to some of these hits, and it's unfortunate for the Niners because they thought they had their guy, and they might. I'm not going to write him off, but it's looking like nope. This is someone who was
Jimmy G.
Yeah, exactly. He was playing. He can play well for a time, but in this league, you have to you have to have elite talent. You can't fake it till you make it type thing because there's elite talent all against you, all around you, and you're going to be exposed. And unfortunately, it looks like Brock Purdy's being exposed here.
Yeah, it looks like people have got film on him now, and they realize what he does well and what he doesn't do well.
Yeah,
and he does not handle pressure well. He does not, and without Trent Williams, he has no faith in his pocket in keep him clean.
Yeah,
just watch him play. He's not confident. He's not reading the right reads. He's not. It's just different. And this is what you were scared of when things were good. Like, I wonder what the low is, and this is the low. You can't beat good teams, which is you would never thought the 49ers. They're 5-3 now, by the way. How quickly have they become 5-3?
They're second place in the AFC or the NFC North or the NFC West. Seahawks.
It's
3 straight losses.
It's dark times over there, and these Niner fans, I've all heard all season that Brady was good. I want to see him win a good game. We get on the Dolphins all the time for not doing that. I want to see the 49ers now win a good game without everything going well. But
yeah, it's a fair point.
It sucks. It sucks, but it is what it is. Bottom line.
Bottom line, the Bengals are officially back. And this is exciting because we love the Bengals. We love us some some Joe Burrow. We love us some Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. All those boys are just fun to watch, easy to root for. We love that no-name defense that just shuts people down. It's just a fun team to root for. And starting the season, 1-3, we were very nervous for them. We even started hinting at, okay, maybe there's just one of those seasons that's just messed up from the start, and it's no one's fault. It's just terrible injuries. I just got an update on Stafford. That's why it's on my mind. Burrow had that calf injury in the preseason. It flared up again in the early games, and we were just thinking, what's gonna happen with him? T. Higgins was hurt. The offensive line was playing like total dog crap, and they have turned it around. They've won the last 3, 4 of the last 5, and they're above 500. They beat San Francisco yesterday. They beat Seattle the week before, or 2 weeks before that. They're winning quality games here, and you've said in your power ranking show they're a sleeping giant. Like if they wake up, we know what they're capable of. Joe Burrow on the season, 1,500 yards, 10 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, looking real good. And in that AFC North, they're right in the thick of it. They're right in the thick of it.
For sure.
The Baltimore Ravens sitting on top of that division at 6-2. Everyone else is at 4-3, including the Bengals. And I mean, they're right there. They have a shot still at the.
The Ravens are 5-2.
I have 6-2.
6-2. My bad. 6-2.
Yeah.
It's still tough division.
Yeah. But yeah, Bengals are back. It's not really a very there's not a lot of layers to it. That's just it. The Bengals are back. Treat them like you would treat them before. They have a huge game coming up on Sunday that everyone's going to be talking about. Bills, Bengals. They're on the field that Damar Hamlin went down on last year, and it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, the Bengals. When you watch them play yesterday, you should like, okay, this is the team that everyone picked to win a Super Bowl. Everyone picked to be there. Burrow looks great. He looks healthy. He was running around yesterday. He was scrambling around. He looks great. Right. And him and Jamar Chase have one of those elite connections that you can't duplicate. It's hard to find. And defensively, they just get it done. I know Hendricks. I know they have a couple guys who are very good, but besides that, they just play tough defensive ball. Right. And the Bengals are just this. They've awoken now out of their
look out
scare of They were my pick to go to the Super Bowl and win it. So I'm glad that they're finally doing this. But I'm also glad that Burrow got paid and is still performing well. Some of these quarterbacks, you don't see that happen every time.
True.
I'm glad he's doing it, and they're so easy to cheer for because who hates the Bengals? They're such an easy team to root for, and Burrow's it's such a fun quarterback to watch. So yeah, they're back in a big way. And Sunday's game against the Bills, all the eyes of the NFL are gonna be on that game. Josh Allen versus Burrow. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah, but Bengals are back. I completely agree with you.
Before we take a break, because we're running out of time here, I want to drop a little bit of breaking news on you. The Rams have commented on Matthew Stafford's thumb injury. I didn't know it was this bad. They are not ruling out injury reserve for the veteran quarterback, Matthew Stafford, there in LA. I didn't know it was that bad. If Matthew Stafford misses time, that is obviously worst case scenario. There, Rams, keep an eye on that. Another, big time injury to a veteran quarterback.
That's tough.
That just sucks. We're gonna take a quick break, and then we'll be back with you have one, I have one, Ball Don't Lie, and then a quick Monday night preview. We'll be right back.
Yep.
We got 7 minutes. I didn't want to rush it.
Let me bring up
I'll send you a new link.
Okay.
Okay, we are back with Ball Don't Lie, Monday's segment we do on what we saw on the field and how things are actually playing out. We each have one more left. I'm going to go first and let you go second here. And mine is simple. Ball Don't Lie. The Browns should trade for a backup quarterback because this Deshaun Watson thing is getting a little hairy. Kevin said this morning, Monday morning, on Deshaun Watson, he'll be back when he's ready. In situations like this, injured reserve is not something that surprises you.
Yeah.
He's been out for a while. It took us 5 weeks to find out what was going on, but he has a strain in his rotator cuff and the muscles that surround it, and he's looked terrible. And when he's tried to get back on the field, no zip on the ball, no accuracy. He may be going to IR, and which is a shame because this roster is ready to compete for a Super Bowl. So all that being said, it's time to go get Jacoby Brissett back. It's time to go get Ryan Tannehill. It's time to go get Russell Wilson, whoever you need to go get as a backup quarterback to make sure you don't fall off the Super Bowl wagon here. You need to go do it. It's time to do it right now.
Yeah, absolutely. This defense is so freaking talented. It keeps them in every single game. Games that they should not be in. They should not be in most of these games with PJ Walker as your starting quarterback. That just shouldn't happen. This defense is so freaking elite. They just need a quarterback. And whatever's happening with Watson, we'll never know what's really happening because they're being so hush-hush about it. We just won't know because we're just not privy to that stuff. But what they do need is go trade for another quarterback. Brissett knows the whole system. He has a good he's the obvious choice here to bring in. He's not a superstar, but he's good enough to be better than PJ Walker and DTR. So I am completely on board with you. And Watson is getting to the point where you don't know what he is, so you don't know how to judge him. But still, you're these Super Bowl windows close so fast. So I'm on board with this one.
Totally. You got one?
Yeah, I got a crazy one. Ball Lie, Will Levis might be the truth. Did you see Will Levis yesterday? Good Lord. Yeah. Okay, yesterday, 19 for 29, 338, 4 touchdowns, 0 picks, through 65%. And against no slouch defense. The Falcons were 10th in completion percentage allowed and 10th in defensive success rate. He becomes the third player in NFL history to throw 4 TDs in his NFL debut, and his QBR was the second highest one for a NFL debut. He looked phenomenal.
Yeah.
Not only did he look phenomenal, he brought back DeAndre Hopkins, the sleeping giant. Yeah. What he did was this: if I'm going to be good, I'm going to bring this guy with me. This Hall of Famer, perennial Pro Bowler, perennial All-Pro. He looked phenomenal. It was very similar to when Herbert came out, where he came out of nowhere and he started just tossing bombs down the field. But Herbert, I looked it up. He threw for 310 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Levis played better. 4 touchdowns, 0 picks. This kid, so in the draft process, he was all the way up to number 1 overall. You thought he might go there. Then the Colts, it was always rumored there. Then, famously, everyone knows the draft picture. He fell in the first round. Him and his girlfriend sitting there kind of embarrassed. Fell the second round. The Titans kind of picked him because, like, they kind of just had to. Like, oh, this guy's fallen. This first-round talent. And they sat him behind Tannehill, which now looks pretty stupid. And they sat him behind Malik Willis, which now looks even more stupid. Just for this guy to throw more touchdowns in one game than this whole Titans has thrown for the entire season.
Wow. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. I thought you did. Go ahead.
It's just phenomenal. No. Go ahead. I'm gonna keep going
on. Titans. I watched every minute of this game, and he was even more impressive than his numbers. They started this game with Malik Willis, and quickly threw Levis in there. Levis, I'll say this, like the first ball to DeAndre Hopkins wasn't like some incredible ball. It kind of hung up there. But if you're going to do that, Hopkins is the guy to do it to. And he gave him a chance. He stretched the field. What I was impressed with him is just the command he had, because what we heard about this guy as far as the negatives was that as far as playing the quarterback position at the NFL level, it might be too much for him because of his level of competition in college. He looked in control. I love the touch on his checkdowns. I love the command he had in going through some of his reads. I love the athletic profile he has. He's a big, strong kid who can move a little bit, and just the excitement. It's kind of just putting like a young, excited puppy into on a team where it's just been old dogs. For years. And to put this kid who's just excited to play football and his family's in the stands and he's going nuts and he's excited, it's just a breath of fresh air to an organization that seemed like, okay, it's getting a little stale. It's getting a little stale now. And it's just, it was so much fun to watch. And I'll say this, CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, this is the most impressive rookie performance at quarterback I've seen all year. Stroud has been great. Richardson was awesome. This is the most impressive thing I've seen a rookie quarterback do this year. No one's done it.
He's phenomenal. And now if you're the Titans, you're thinking, okay, we're going to sell a couple guys here. But honestly, for the progression of this young Will Levis, I would keep Hopkins. I would keep every guy I can, just say, we got to make this kid good. The only way to make him confident is to give him as many weapons as possible. I would keep Hopkins. I would keep Henry. I'll keep everything I can to – your mindset should be, how can we improve this guy right now as fast as possible? And see if he can be better than next year's round of quarter prospects. That way, that pick doesn't have to be a quarter. It could be a lineman, which it desperately need. It could be a pass rusher, whatever. But this kid from where he's come to where he is now, it's just a story that you love to see. This guy fell in the draft. Now he's tore up the NFL yesterday, and now we get him in prime time Thursday night against the Steelers. Everyone gets to see him. He could truly break out in the league if he performs on Thursday. He already did a great job on Sunday against the Falcons. I love this. I love Will Levis, and this is good for the Titans. They're like I said, they're getting older, and they had no exciting young guys on their team. They had Spears, they had Burks. Not like they're good, but not great. This guy could be great. One game, I know it's one game, but he showed me a lot in one game.
Yeah, really excited about all of a sudden excited about the future of this Titans team, because if they can nail this quarterback position this quickly, thinking about who Vrabel is, Matt Vrabel. Think about who he is. He doesn't want to tank anyway. I could see that locker room thinking, wait a minute, why can't we make a run this year?
Why do we trade Birch at the buyer to the Eagles?
Because they're not going to be selling. Okay, well, we're going to find out what they think here. If they are Super Bowl contenders in their own minds, they're not going to sell anyone. They might buy a couple guys. But if they think, okay, we're not Super Bowl contenders, but we want to help this guy's development, like you said, they're not going to get rid of the receivers or anything on offense. They might sell off like Simmons, the D lineman, or maybe some more defensive backs, some of the older guys. And start some of the rebuilding process. But I tell you what, a rebuild gets real fun when you have the quarterback position down. And that's what Will Levis can give to them. Not going to overreact yet because just one game, but a very, very exciting start to the career of Will Levis, rookie quarterback. Awesome to see. Yeah,
it's fun times, man.
That is Ball Don't Lie for Mondays. A couple things also I wanted to mention is the Jaguars won again. and this is not a ball don't lie. I just didn't want to go through the show and not mention that 5 in a row.
They're winning. I don't really know how they're winning, but they're winning. Lawrence isn't really playing elite. The defense is kind of picky choosy when they want to be good or not, but they get turnovers and the offense does enough to win.
It's kind of like it's a funny way to say like, oh, they're winning, but that's really all you can say. Because there's nothing crazy impressive about they're just winning.
Which is the bottom line and the NFL. Can you win? Yeah, this team is. I'm not even sure they're fun to watch. They just win.
Like, I would like they're fun to watch. They are second in the AFC at 6-2. Incredible.
Shout out to Doug Peterson for going there and changing the entire culture environment from Urban Meyer to him, night and day.
Little bonus, ball don't lie there. Let's get into a game preview for Monday night. Okay, game preview here. For Monday night's game, we have the 3-4 Raiders visiting the 5-2 Detroit Lions. We both picked the Lions here. It's game in Detroit. Detroit coming off that bad loss last week to the Ravens. Raiders are in all sorts of trouble. There's rumors of selling off players, and they haven't played well just in general this whole year. This looks like it's going to be a lopsided win, but I'm just sick. I'm just done saying that this year because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. This on paper, this should be okay. Raiders should lose by a lot, but you never know. The NFL can throw you some curveballs, and Jimmy G will be in this game. He's good to go. They still have Devontae Adams. They still have Josh Jacobs. They still have Max Crosby.
Right.
This is they have stars on this Raiders team. So
Montgomery's not going to play in this game. He's out.
Yeah.
And as good as Gibbs is, Montgomery's just proven to be the more effective running back in my mind. Just watching him.
Yeah.
He just fits the identity of this team a little better, I think. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown's listed as questionable. We'll see. I think most likely he's going to play, but he's listed as questionable, and that's something to keep an eye on. And of course,
I want to see tonight. I want to see Jameson Williams do something tonight. Yesterday he had a pretty bad. Like last week, he had a pretty bad game. No catches bad. I want to see this first round rookie talent show something. You're in turf. The nation's watching. This is when you would do it, man.
I feel like they haven't figured out yet how to work into this offense seamlessly. Because it's easy enough on paper to think, oh, the way you work into his offense is you stretch the field with him. But it's like a thing where he's not on the field until you do that play and everyone knows it's coming. You need to work him into this offense as one of your regular receivers if you're going to take advantage of that particular skill set. Or else it's just kind of just a pony show.
Yeah. He comes out and the defense knows, oh, they're going to throw him a 9 round. Like, okay, you have to mix it up a little bit. Yeah, I get it.
And I have confidence in Ben Johnson, and they've talked a lot about bringing him along slowly. And one thing we've learned about the Lions is that they march to the beat of their own drum. They're going to do things the way they want to do them, and they bring guys slowly. And they've said that they've stayed consistent with that about Jameson Williams, how they just want to see him stack practices. They just want to see him get better every day. They're not at all. I think the entire community, especially the fantasy community, saw this guy step on the field and we thought, okay, here we go, Jameson Williams times. But that's not how the Lions work. We've learned that with Swift and Gibbs and all the different guys they have there. But yeah, I'd love to see Jalen Williams go off here. Amon-Ra St. Brown, if he plays, the Raiders do not have an answer for him. They do have the young cornerback, though. I'm losing his name. I'm gonna find it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, let's talk real quick about this Raiders team before we go to the Lions team, because I feel we can gush about the Lions team for quite a while. What do they need to do to win?
Might be the last game we see of Hunter Renfrow in the Raiders jersey, maybe. What they need to do is win is feed their guys. As good as this Lions team is, they don't have anyone who can guard Devontae Adams one-on-one. You need to feed him over and over and over. Josh Jacobs has been a disappointment, but he's always capable of it. They need to just feed those two guys. I know Jacoby Myers is having a pretty good year, but I would just feed Adams because they have no one in the league has an answer for him in the last 5 years. I would feed him. And defensively, they need to get some turnovers. This Lions team is pretty stingy as far as turnovers, but get Crosby going, get if Crosby gets going and starts to terrorize that O-line, that's a good way for them to get an advantage. Crosby is one of the best game records in the NFL.
Absolutely. I checked on the cornerback. They don't. I for some reason thought they had a good young cornerback, but they don't. Marcus Peters there holding it down for the Raiders. And if Marcus Peters is going to try to keep up with Amon-Ra St. Brown, that is not going to go well. It's just so this Raiders team has been such a tease for. I mean, we didn't expect it this year, but last year for sure with the weapons they accumulated.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Jacobs hasn't been the same. Devontae Adams hasn't been the same. Jacoby Myers to me has been really good for this team.
Yeah.
And yet it hasn't translated to wins. It hasn't translated to a real competitive team in this division or in this conference. And this looks like it might be a tough one for those reasons. Let's move to the Lions here. Jared Goff leading this team. They have a real shot at a bye in the NFC playoffs. It's time to start talking like that because we're halfway through. They have a real shot here. The Lions, I think, before this game, they desperately need to add a pass rusher to this team.
Yes.
They need to add some juice to this front seven. And whether or not they do it this week, that eventually is going to come to show. But, I mean, I think they have the weapons to take care of this team fairly easily and show that they're one of the best teams in the NFC.
Yeah. They need to pair Hutchinson with somebody or just get him a bunch of good pass rushers so it's not all on Hutchinson. He's very capable of being that guy. Right. But he he's one of my favorite players to watch. I can't wait to see him tonight. He's amazing. The fact that he fell to number 2 overall is still a mystery to me. He's one of the best pass rushers in the league. And then also rookie safety Brian Branch. Very fun guy to watch. Can't wait to see him develop into whatever he becomes, but has all the tools to be whatever he wants to be. So Lions, you can gush all day about the Lions stuff. Raiders side, they just need to play turnover-free ball. That's been their thing all season, just turnovers. Stop the turnovers. You got Jimmy G back. So it's going to be a tough one for the Raiders if they want to pull it out, but it's possible.
Yeah, they're going to need to find a way to slow down this Lions offense, and the best way might be keeping them off the field with Josh Jacobs. And Jimmy G certainly knows how to put together long drives, dinking and dunking down the field. So maybe that's the game plan. We'll see. I'm just done predicting blowouts. It's just not happening.
I'm curious to see if they show off Hunter Renfrow a little bit. If they could say that we need to get him 8 catches tonight to show everyone he can still play, then trade him tomorrow or tonight even. So
very well could happen. That is the game preview for Monday Night Football. Should be a good one. Like we always say, don't take football for granted. Watch all the games you can because it'll be over before you know it. That is today's show. Anything anything else?
Nope. Trade deadline's tomorrow, so check your phones all the time.
Absolutely. Make sure you go onto Instagram, TikTok, and I'm missing one. Twitter. And keep up with the latest. Search at Bench Show, especially for the next couple of days, so you're not the idiot on Thursday thinking, "Oh, when did he get traded?"
Well, I did know that,
bro.
Yeah, you don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, keep up with the latest here, and that's it. That's Monday's show. We will see you Wednesday with a Thursday night preview with version 9.0 of English 7 and maybe a little bit more. Have a good and we'll see you.